Welcome. Today, we'll be diving into the story of a classic martial arts film released in 2008. The tale begins in the 1930s in Foshan, a thriving city revered as a hub of Chinese martial arts. Amid the flourishing streets, skilled kung fu masters instruct their students with discipline and pride. But one evening, as a respected master known as Ip Man enjoys dinner, he is approached with an unusual request. A newcomer named Mr. Liao, who recently established a kung fu academy in the city, wishes to spar with Ip Man. Liao, recognizing Ip Man's reputation as a master of Wing Chun, is eager to prove himself. Polite yet firm, Ip Man initially declines the invitation, expressing his desire to simply finish his meal with his wife. Liao, however, persists. Though Ip Man remains calm, his wife glares at Liao with obvious disdain. After the meal, Liao once again insists, and finally, Ip Man agrees to a private match. What follows is a swift and graceful demonstration of skill. Ip Man effortlessly defeats Liao without even rising from his seat. Word of this quiet yet stunning victory spreads fast. Later that evening at Yuan restaurant, a teenager excitedly recounts the tale to his friends just as Ip Man enters. Meanwhile, Liao oversees his students and is still reeling from his loss. The young man's account causes quite a stir, catching the attention of senior martial artists. When Yao, another master, hears of it, tensions flare. But before conflict can escalate, Lin Yuan, the restaurant owner and elder brother of one of the parties, intervenes and de-escalates the situation, urging dignity and restraint. Soon after, a police officer named Li Zhao steps in, condemning kung fu as outdated and chaotic. He flaunts his firearm arrogantly, mocking the martial artists. Ip Man calmly intercepts, demonstrating his skills by disarming Li Zhao with lightning speed. Stunned, Zhao acknowledges the power of kung fu, though he remains skeptical of its place in modern society. Despite the turmoil, Ip Man offers help where he can, even lending capital to open a cotton factory. He continues his practice with quiet dedication, supported by his wife and young son. But as he trains, he becomes more distant from his family. His wife, observing this, becomes upset and pleads with him to spend more time with their son. Meanwhile, a group of arrogant wanderers led by Jinchen Zhao arrive in Foshan. Seeking to prove their dominance, they challenge and defeat several local kung fu masters. Drunk with pride, Jin dares anyone to match him, until someone mentions Ip Man. Intrigued, Jin storms off to challenge the legendary master. Ip Man, however, refuses to fight. His wife confronts the gang and warns them away. Jin mocks Ip Man for being afraid of his wife, prompting laughter from his gang. Eventually, a challenge is accepted. Jin strikes, and Ip Man retaliates with unmatched precision. Jin is quickly defeated. One of his men hands him a sword, escalating the fight, but Ip Man counters with nothing more than a feather duster, still triumphing. After the humiliating loss, Jin and his gang retreat. Foshan, grateful for Ip Man's calm strength, begins to revere him even more. But the peaceful days come to an end with the onset of the Second Sino-Japanese War. In 1937, Japanese forces invade, bringing widespread destruction. Foshan is devastated. Buildings crumble, people starve, and Ip Man's home is seized. He and his family live in poverty, trading personal belongings just to survive. Though Bai Chuan, an old acquaintance, invites Ip Man to work at his factory, Ip Man refuses charity. He chooses to maintain his pride, despite hardship. One day, While making a small meal of porridge, Ip Man reassures his ailing wife that things will get better. But the truth is grim. Supplies are running out, and jobs are scarce. At a local restaurant, Ip Man encounters Lin, who shares food with him and opens up about his regrets, including a falling out with his now-deceased brother. Meanwhile, Li Zhao informs the Japanese army about the skills of Foshin's kung fu practitioners. General Miura, intrigued, organizes brutal martial arts matches, offering rice as a prize to the victors. Desperate for food, many, including Lin, enter the arena. Liao wins a match and earns rice. But the next challenge is cruel. Miura pits Chinese fighters against 3 opponents at once. Lin steps up but is killed, shocking the crowd. Ip Man, heartbroken over Lin's death, demands to fight 10 opponents in his place. With a storm of fury and discipline, he defeats them all single-handedly. Refusing his prize, Ip Man takes the bloodied sack of rice and gives it to Liao's grieving family. He then warns Li Zhao not to side with the Japanese, accusing him of betrayal. Zhao defends himself as merely a translator, but Ip Man walks away in disgust. Later, Jin reappears, hijacking a truck and trying to shake down the cotton factory workers. A scuffle breaks out. Ip Man is called for help, but by the time he arrives, the gang is gone. The wounded boy who called for help dies, and his final wish is for Ip Man to teach them Wing Chun. Moved by the workers' request, Ip Man begins training them in secret. The factory becomes a place of strength and solidarity. One day, Li Zhao arrives with bad news. General Miura wants to fight Ip Man personally. When Ip Man refuses to teach the Japanese army kung fu, Miura challenges him to a public duel. During this confrontation, Colonel Sato becomes enamored with Ip Man's wife and tries to take her, prompting Ip Man to attack him fiercely. Sato, enraged, orders the family into hiding. Li Zhao helps them escape, and Miura vows to capture Ip Man at all costs. But when the Japanese troops raid the cotton factory again, they are met with unexpected resistance. The workers, trained by Ip Man, fight back. Ip Man joins the battle and takes on the gang, including Jin. He uses bamboo poles to disarm them, fending off even their fiercest attacks. When Jin is defeated, his brother tearfully reveals the truth about Lin's death. Overwhelmed, Jin breaks down. As danger mounts, Li Zhao warns Ip Man to stay away from the factory, but it's too late. Sato captures Chu and tortures him for Ip Man's location. Ip Man bursts in and defeats Sato once and for all. General Miura, still desperate for a final showdown, demands a fight. Ip Man accepts, not for glory, but to show that Chinese martial arts and dignity cannot be conquered. The film concludes with this climactic battle, a testament to honor, resilience, and the enduring spirit of Kung Fu.